כ"ח עמוד א', this is today's daf. 2, 4, 6, 7, 7 lines from the top. You're not going to go home soon. Have patience. Tana, אותו היום, the story continue after they decided to appoint Rab Lazar ben Azariah to be the נשיא. אותו היום, סילקו לשומר הפתח. Rab Lazar ben Azariah was now he gave orders and he said, the guard of the entrance to בית המדרש, יאללה, go home or come and learn. וניתנה להם רשות לתלמידים להיכנס. was permission to any student to go into בית המדרש. שהיה רבן גמליאל מכריז ואומר, רבן גמליאל used to say, כל תלמיד שאין תוכו כברו, any student that the inside is not like outside, לא ייכנס לבית המדרש, cannot enter into בית המדרש. So רבן הזמן said, you know what, anybody, come, free entrance. היו יום on that day, התווספו כמה ספסלי, few benches, many benches were added to the בית המדרש. אמר רבי יוחנן פליגי ואבא יוסף בן דוסטאי ורבנן, how many were they? אחד אמר התווספו 400 ספסלים, אחד אמר 700 ספסלים, 700 benches were brought into בית המדרש. What it says, Rabbi Gamliel was concerned. He said, why? No, you used to go to בית המדרש, seeing 30 people, now you see like 1,000 people. It's like, what did I do wrong? אמר, חס ושלום, מנעתי תורה מישראל, maybe I withheld Torah from עם ישראל all those years, because he didn't let other people to enter, he got to be inside like the outside. אחסו לבחלמה, they saw him in his dream, חצבי, pitchers, חברי, white pitchers, the malya katma, full of ashes, meaning to show him those people are not really considered, as valuable people to be in Bet HaMidrash. The Gemara says, it's not true what they show him in the dream, it's not true as a message for us. Rather, they just showed him at the dream just to relax him because he was so worried. But באמת, in practical, you don't let in Bet HaMidrash only somebody the inside like the outside. Because if you want to reach to that level, it's got to be in Bet HaMidrash. And then he will develop it to be inside like the outside. But cannot be the prerequisite of entering in Bet HaMidrash.
This is a continuation after he lost his position as Nasi, right?
Yes.
This is like the day, like
the day after when he switched.
Yeah, don't worry, it was more going on. Tana, Eduyot, there is a special Masechet, it's called Eduyot, we call it Bchirta, the chosen Masechet, that all of the Chachamim were there. When Rabbi Gamliel was the Nasi, was very, as you see, the personality seems like very dictator. He didn't let people even speak out. When Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah took the position, he was 18 years old, as much as he will learn, but it was very easy and mellow and sweet, more liberal. So when, in order to testify Masechet Eduyot, we have a rule that everything it says in Eduyot overwrite any other Masechtot. Why? When everybody come and can express their opinion, you can rely and assume this is the correct opinion.
So this is good what he's doing.
Yeah, Tana Eduyot, the following, the Masechet Eduyot, Bo Bayom Nishnet. On that day, it was taught. וכל אחד דאמרין על בו ביום, anywhere where we say בו ביום in משניות, ההוא יום האב, we're talking about on that day, on the first day, Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah being the president, that was anything was discussed on that day, it referring to the first day. ולא הייתה הלכה שהייתה תלויה בית המדרש, was not הלכה that was pending in בית המדרש, שלא פירשו, they didn't explain it. ואף רבן גמליאל, even רבן גמליאל himself, לא מנע עצמו מבית המדרש, he didn't withhold himself מבית המדרש, אפילו שעה אחת, you know, you feel so friar, you know, it was the נשיא, after being נשיא, לא נעים, but everything was them לשם שמיים, where it was tough, it was לשם שמיים, and now he's not, he didn't want to miss learning Torah. דתנן, בו ביום, משנה said on that day, בא יהודה גר המוני לפניהם לבית המדרש. יהודה גר המוני came in front of him to בית המדרש. Basically, everybody heard that Rabbi Gamliel is not נשיא anymore, and there is more lenient rabbis over there in Shul. So everybody came like to re-ask halachot, there were questions. So one of them was Rabbi Yehuda Amoni. אמר להם, מה אני לבוא בקהל? Can I join עם ישראל, be part of עם ישראל? אמר לו רבי גמליאל, he was already convert, but can I be accepted in עם ישראל? אמר לו גמליאל, אסור אתה לבוא בקהל, you are prohibited to join עם ישראל. אמר לו רבי יהושע, מותר אתה לבוא בקהל, you are permitted to go to עם ישראל. אמר לו גמליאל, והלא כבר נאמר, there is a pasuk מפורש, state pasuk, לא יבוא המוני ומואבי בקהל השם, and המוני not allowed to join the קהל of השם. אמר רבי יהושע, וכי עמון ומואב במקומן הם יושבים? Does the resident of עמון ומואב are really the original עמון ומואב people? והלא כבר עלה סנחרב, the king סנחרב מלך אשור, the king of אשור, הוא בלבל את כל האומות, he mixed all of the nations together, שנאמר, והסיר גבולות עמים, I would take out the borders of the nation, ותדעם ששסתי, and I ruined their future, והוריד כאביר יושבים, and I will move down those who are sitting. So Sanchev already mixed all of the nations. So people from one country switched to other country, didn't want anybody to feel belong to his country. So even though you came from Ammon, you're not an Ammoni from the original Ammonim, that the Gzera, the Torah said you're not allowed to be in Ammon. We have a rush, we call the parish, Meruba parish. Now, since they all mixed together, anybody who's separated came from the majority of the world are not Ammoni. Therefore, we should assume that he's not Ammoni. אמר לגמליאל, והלא כבר נאמר, ואחרי כן אשיב את שבות בני עמון. The pasuk said, afterwards will I return בני עמון, מאום השם וכבר שבו. Meaning, it seems that בני עמון came back to their place, so they will redefine as an Ammoni. אמר לו רבי ישוע, והלא כבר נאמר, ושבתי ישבות עמי ישראל, ועדיין לא שבו. The pasuk says, I returned עם ישראל back, and בני ישראל didn't come back. So the part of the condition for Ammon to be back, it's also for Israel to be back, and they are not back. If so, it's not considered that their Ammon came back to their place, and they all one mixture. If they all one mixture, whoever separate from them is separate from a general nation, and it should be motar to join Am Israel. Miyad etiru lavo bekar. They permit them right away to join Am Israel. Mar Rabbi Gamliel, oil ve'achia, since I see that halacha is Rabbi Yoshua over here, so he knows what he's talking about. So all of the times that I gave him hard time, it was probably he was so intimidated by me that he couldn't express himself. And I see now that he's not intimidated, he's speaking out and he happened to be right.
Makes sense, right?
If so, I'm sorry. Izil veifaisel Rabbi Yoshua. Let me go and appease Rabbi Yoshua. Let me ask forgiveness. Let me apologize. Kimata lebeite, when he came to his house, chazino lashita debeite de meshachan. He saw that the walls of his house of Rabbi Yoshua were black. Today it's very in, back then wasn't. I can see from the walls of your house that you are blacksmith. You deal with, coals. אתה אמר לו, אוי לו לדור שאתה פרנסו. Unfortunate to a generation that you are the leader of the generation. שיהיה אתה יודע בצערן של תלמידי חכמים. You don't know the suffering of תלמידי חכמים. במה הם מתפרנסים, what is their פרנסה coming from, ובמה הם ניזונים, and where does the food come for them. Because only now you know I'm a פחמי, I am your student in בית המדרש, and you never know what I'm doing for living. אמר לו, נעניתי לך, you are right, מחילה. And I spoke to you more than I was supposed to. רבי גמליאל said to Rabbi Yeshua, I was talking in front of you more than I should have. So מחילה. מחולי, please forgive me. אמר לו, מה, לא אשכח בידי לבן אנצור, מה, מי אתה, כאילו, after what you did me, מחולי, I didn't hear it from my father. Somebody came to Chacham Yehuda Tzadka, was the Rosh Yeshiva of Porat Yosef. Em and Chacham Etzion were Rosh Yeshiva together, but it was Talmid Chaver. Interesting. So Chacham Etzion was Talmid Chaver to Rabbi Yehuda Tzadka, was older than him. So he asked him, so somebody came Chacham Yehuda Tzadka on Aseret Yemei Tshuva. He said, הרב, מחילה, I spoke with you, לשון הרע זה וזה, אם הרב יכול לסלוח לי, can you forgive me? אמר לו, למה דיברת עליי ככה? מה עשיתי לך רע? What did I do wrong to you? He said, no, I'm sorry וזה. הוא אומר לו, okay, to be honest, I have a hard time to forgive you. Come to me in a few days. People think, okay, I'm sorry. טון, לא, אחי, יש פה בני אדם, there are human beings behind. So no, I couldn't forgive him. Look what you did to me. Now I'm sorry. מה ההק?
Two more times, Rabbi.
Gemara says, no, by the way, no, the 3 more times when it makes sense, but let's say if somebody was motzi shem ra on a person, and publicize bad name and everything, to say I'm sorry, it's gotta be...
No, 3 times you attempt to do tshuva with him.
It's gotta be really meaning, not I'm sorry. This is what happened over. The Gemara says, לא אשכח, but he didn't respond to him בכלל. אמר לו, עשה בשביל כבוד אבא, do for the honor of my father. The Gemara says, פאיס, יהיה peace. He said, okay, יאללה, מחול. עכשיו, forgive them, זהו, נגמר הסיפור היום.
מה זה של אבא שלו? אבא שלו
was an nasi.
רבן שמעון וגמליאל. רבן גמליאל, his father was רבן שמעון also. So, זה רע שהם היו ספרדים.
Shmuel Gamliel, because his grandfather.
There were 3 Rabban Shimon Gamliel throughout the generations. The Gemara says, okay, עכשיו now the story is over. אמרו, מה ניזל, who should go and tell in the Bet Midrash that the fight is over? Meaning, no, they forgive, he forgived Rabbi Yeshua. ולהם עלו לרבנן, who will tell the חכמים? אמר לו, כובס, was a guy who was a laundryman, אנא הזינה, let me go myself and give them the message. שלח לו רבי יהושע לבית מדרש, רבי יהושע sent a message with the laundryman to the בית מדרש, מן דלביש מדה, ילבש מדה. The one is used to dressing with the coat, the tunic, the coat, ילבש מדה should dress with the tunic. מן דלא לביש מדה, the one who's not used to dressing the tunic, יאמר ללמן דלביש מדה will tell the one who is dressing usually with the tunic, שלח מדך, take off your tunic ואנא אלבשי, and I will dress it up, meaning you tell them a message. If somebody is used to wearing something, tunic, somebody else who's not wearing it will tell him, take off your tunic, let me wear it, which is, Rabban Gamliel is the one who usually wearing the coat, the special coat of the president, of the Nasi. And Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah was not usually wearing it. I'm going to go over to him now, give me your coat. What happened over here? So he gave him, this is Rabbi Yeshua sending that message. When they heard this message in the Bet Midrash, אמר לו רבי עקיבא לרבנן, טרוקו גלי, סגרו את הדלתות, close the doors, דלוליטו עבד רבי גמליאל וליצרו לרבנן. The slaves of Rabbi Gamliel are not going to come and going to give hard time. Because who gave the message? The laundryman by the name of Rabbi Yeshua. So they were thinking it's a setup that they want to give message. Rabbi Yeshua said, that is not the right thing, just to get Rabbi Gamliel back. So they didn't know that really Rabbi Yeshua
He was really him,
right. Amar Rabbi Yeshua, if so, this is the unbelievable principle for life. Mutav bi'ikum v'izil ana legabao. Let me do it myself. Whenever you want to say something to somebody, don't send other people. Pick up the phone, say it yourself, straightforward, no complaint.
There's no miscommunication.
The message will be
So
clear.
Did he not send the messenger in the end? He changed.
They sent a messenger and they assume that it's other people sent the
then
message.
he went himself
Say,
to
let me
say
go myself. Ata taraf hababa, he was knocking at the door. Amar mazeh ben mazeh. Somebody is tahor, son of tahor. Kohen, the son of Kohen. Yazeh. And he's supposed to sprinkle the water of para aduma if somebody is tameh. V'sheno lo mazeh velo ben mazeh. Somebody is not Kohen, son of a Kohen. Yomar lemazeh ben mazeh will tell to Kohen, the son of Kohen, memecha mei me'ara, you are water of the tameh, ve'efrecha efer makle, and your ashes are ashes that being just in stam in the oven, not ashes of para aduma. Meaning, Rabbi Yeshua is giving the message, Rabbi Gamliel is Kohen, the son of Kohen. His father was Nasir, son of Nasir. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, not yet. So he will tell him, you're gonna let me do the job. Well, you don't have the not criteria, the qualification, credentials to be the president.
He's not, Gamliel is not the president. What does he have to do with that anyway?
No, he was the president. He came the lineage of presidency, so he knows how to behave.
So he's asking him for advice on how to do the job,
No.
He's giving them the message, Rabbi Yeshua, look, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, take a job that he has no experience, no lineage with, from somebody he's experienced and he has a lineage with.
They use an example of a Kohen, son of a Kohen, versus a Kohen who's like.
Yeah, you shouldn't. give it to the right people. The one says, "Amar lo Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Yeshua, nitpayasta? When you got appeased, yeah, you fine? כלום עשינו אלא בשביל כבודך. We did it for you. If you fine, I'm fine. למחר אני ואתה נשכים לפתחו. Tomorrow, you and I are going to go to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, and we're going to tell him, I think Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah or Rabbi Gamliel, we're going to tell him, okay, now I think Rabbi Gamliel, you can come back and be the president. But they have a problem. Amri Echi Navid. Na'avrei, we should take him over being a president. His wife happened to be right, as always. And now we should take him over to be a president. Gmiri, we have a rule, Ma'alin b'kodesh, ve'en moridin. In Kodesh you go up, you don't go down. How can you take him down from being a Nasi? Nidrosh mash chadashavta v'ma chadashavta. If one going to do 50-50, yeah? Co-president.
Co-CEOs.
Co-CEOs. They're going to be jealous in each other and will be not really proper authority. Ella, it must be one above the other. Ella lidush Rabbi Gamliel tlata shabbati. Rabbi Gamliel should be 3 Shabbatot. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah chad Shabbatayim. Rabbi Gamliel chad Shabbat. There is but why 3? If 1 and 1 is not equal, what should be? 2 and 1. So the Rambam is learning over here. It's 2 and 1. So Rabbi Gamliel 2 Shabbatot and Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah 1 Shabbat. So that was the rotation.
But it turns out per month it's 3 Shabbatot and 1.
No, say 2 and 1. 2 1. That's a rotation. 2 and 1.
Right. Okay.
So
Why
Rabbi
they say
Elazar
3 and 1?
No, it's גרסה, it's versions. According to Rambam, it's wrong what it said over here. It's got to be 2. So the Gemara says, ורב אלעזר בן עזריה חד השבתה. רב אלעזר בן עזריה was one Shabbat. והיינו דאו מרמר, the Gemara says in חגיגה, איפה זה? כן, the Gemara says in חגיגה, the Gemara asked over there that one of the rabbis came over to other rabbis, said, were you in the shul? Yeah. שבת של מי הייתה? Who was this Shabbat? So, והיינו דאו מרמר, שבת של מי הייתה? And the Gemara answers של רבי אלעזר בן עזריה הייתה, it was Shabbat of רבי אלעזר בן עזריה. ואותו תלמיד was Rab Shimon. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, that was the name of the Talmid. I was bothered, why do we have to mention the name of the Talmid? He's the Talmid who created all of the balagan, נכון? What a mess he created. Yes, I don't know the answer. Next. Shel Musaf.
You taught a valuable lesson. You taught a valuable lesson.
Yeah, but אחי, מה אתה מלכלך? You know,
we could have continued without knowing.
And he testified in front of him in the middle, אחי, חרם, מה קרה?
He started up, heated up the balagan in front of everybody. אתה אמרת.
And also, the Gemara says, Masechet Shabbat, when Rabban Gamliel, when Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai came out of the cave, it says that so he saw a field that was, people think it's tameh. So he made sure to make it tahor.
Right.
So a zaken, an old guy came, says, מה, איך אתה עושה זה tahor? זה אמור להיות tameh. Meaning, he was complaining about him in public. So the Gemara says, very sharp sentence. אמר לו רבי שמעון בר יוחאי, זונות מפרכסות זו לזו. Zonot are beautifying each other to look nice for their services. תלמידי חכמים לא כל שכן? That they need to protect each other and beautify each other? נתן בו עיניו ולוקת עליהם ועשה אותו גל של עצמות. He made him a pile of bones. זה דף גל, מתחיל הסיפור. גל, למד גימל.
What's the point of that? Like...
No, so you see, I mean, חכמים supposed to protect each other, not to give. Here, is the opposite of the message of Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai.
Yeah, you burned them, you're saying.
No, there, yeah, because the other guy didn't protect each other. They didn't cover for Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. So for Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in Masechet Shabbat. So you expect them, we have to
Didn't Hashem tell him go back in the cave?
We have to work together. And here, it didn't work together.
So you killed him.
Here he was a
No,
young,
over there, the story.
Here he was a young bacher.
Yeah, but
Here he was a young Talmid.
Maybe it was a Talmid by then. No, but that is Shita. I mean, you gotta cover for each other. By the way, it's very important. Sometimes people, how come the rabbi don't speak about another rabbi? Speaking about another rabbi is a lot pashut.
Why?
In general, any rabbi who did something, usually he has a tzad for it. If the rabbi did something, to go against rabbis, as Talmidei Chachamim, and here, Baruch Hashem, in the community here in Hollywood, we have a beautiful shalom between the rabbis. Everybody respect each other. And I had cases that one of the rabbis thought that I'm feeding people chametz on Pesach. And we communicate internally. He didn't advertise it in public.
you know,
And I respect him for that. And I went to pray by him after, even though he was angry at me because it's not personal. And same thing, other rabbis over here, it was something that we weren't favor of, without details. And we dealt with it internally between us, the rabbis, instead of out in public.
So
And that's a
Rabbi
responsibility of
Shimon
the
taught
rabbi.
that lesson, and then he did it as a Talmid.
No,
is that the whole
That's my
idea?
question.
you know why I think they mentioned him? Because he actually did a great thing. Look at how much he knocked sense into Rabban Gamliel.
to go
Because if this would have happened, he would have continued in his ways. He went to Rabbi Yeshua, he saw a different perspective now that he
No, but
wasn't
hold
a
on,
sea.
hold on. He didn't know that's going to be the end of the story.
It just happened like that.
It just happened. The Rabbi Gamliel, they backed him up. It was 3 times same thing, and he messing up. Achi. We need explanation. It's better to stay with the question than with the weak answer. It's a good question. Let's think about that.
Ways,
Maybe
no.
tomorrow. I'll work on it. Maybe tomorrow. Okay. Nashel Musafim kol hayom. Musaf. When is the time for Tfilat Musaf? He said all day long. Amar Rabbi Yechonon, even though you have all day, however, v'nikra poshea. Somebody who was delaying it kol kach all day for Musaf is a poshea. Nafkemini, if you're after a flight, don't say, Musaf kol hayom and itpalel. He's a poshea. You want to be called poshea? No worry. Tol Ravanan. That's very interesting. Mara, known, היו לפניו 2 תפילות.
אם הוא בטיסה וצריך להתפלל מוסף יום שבת.
לא, אחרי טיסה, שבת. היו לפניו 2 תפילות. אחת של מנחה ואחת של מוסף. This פושע was already after חצות, and he has 2 תפילות to pray, either מנחה או מוסף. Which one he do first? מתפלל של מנחה ואחר כך מתפלל של מוסף. למה? שזו תדירה, מנחה it's more common, וזו אינה תדירה, מוסף is less common, תדיר ושאינו תדיר, תדיר קודם. רבי יהודה אומר, לא, מתפלל first של מוסף ואחר מתפלל של מנחה. first מוסף ודי מנחה. למה? שזו מצווה עוברת, זו מצווה אינה עוברת. according to רבי יהודה, the end time for מוסף is 7 שעות. according to him, the תפילה of מוסף is מצווה עוברת. It goes fast, it can finish early before מנחה. מנחה you have all day. according to him, first מוסף and then מנחה. אמר רבי יחנן הלכה למעשה, להתפלל של מנחה ואחר כך מתפלל של מוסף. first מנחה, then מוסף. כמו says רב זירא, כי אביחליש מגירסה, when רבי זירא was weak from his learning, he couldn't learn anymore, ואזיל ויתי ופיתחה דרבי נתן בר טובי. He was interested by the בית מדרש of רבי נתן בר טובי. אמר, he said, כי חלפי רבנן בין הרבנים going out of the בית מדרש, אז איקו מקמיו, I will stand in front of them, ואקבל אגרא, and I receive reward. So he couldn't learn. So he said, let me at least do something of mitzvah. I'm going to stand outside of בית מדרש, and stand up for the רבנים. By the way, you see over here, that the chiyuv to stand to תלמידי חכמים has nothing to do how much you are תלמיד חכם or not. Meaning, if not, if more תלמיד חכם, if somebody less תלמיד חכם you, and it's תלמיד חכם, you still have to stand up for him. It's not relevant to you. I was sitting outside and get up for any rabbi who came out of the בית מדרש.
What if you're a rabbi and you're תלמיד, אתה תלמיד חכם?
מה אתה אומר?
What if you're a rabbi and you're תלמיד, אתה תלמיד חכם?
That's the Gemara asking Kiddushin. It's a good question. The Gemara says, Nafa kata Rabbi Natan bar Tuvi. Rabbi Natan bar Tuvi came out of the Beit HaMidrash. Amar lei, so he asked him, Man amar halacha Beit Midrasha? Anybody who said halacha, it says that halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda or not? Because you know that we're learning our sugya regarding Tfilat Musaf. And he says, is halacha like Rabbi Yehuda that first Musaf ואחר כך מנחה, או halacha that first מנחה ואחר כך מוסף? אמר לאח אמר רבי יוחנן, אין הלכה כרבי יהודה, דאמר מתפלל אדם של מוסף, ואחר כך מתפלל של מנחה. מתפלל מנחה. The halacha is not like רבי יהודה, the first מוסף and then מנחה. Rather, first מנחה and then מוסף. אמר לי רבי יוחנן אמרה, did רבי יוחנן said it in the בית מדרש? אמר לי, yes, רבי יוחנן אמרה, וואו, רבי יוחנן אמרה. אומרת הגמרא, תנא מיני 40 זימנים. He repeated to himself 40 times. אמר לי, חדאי לך? Why are you excited to repeat it? Why are you repeating it 40 times? Is that a new halacha for you? That's why you're repeating it? Or חדתי לך, or it's special to you. It's מיוחד to you. You're excited about it. אמר לי, חדתי לי. It's special for me. למה? משום דמספקה לי ברבי יהושע בן לוי. I thought רבי יהושע בן לוי is the one who said that halacha that first מנחה ואחר כך מוסף. Now I heard that רבי יוחנן who said that. So in order to avoid confusions, he repeated to himself 40 times that רבי יוחנן אומר, to know that he's the one who said that halacha first מנחה ואחר כך מוסף. אמר רבי יהושע בן לוי, כל המתפלל תפילה של מוספים, anybody who pray מוספים, לאחר 7 שעות לרבי יהודה, according to רבי יהודה, that תפילה מוספים is up to 7 hours, if he prays later, עליו הכתוב אומר, the pasuk is saying on him, נוגי ממועד אספתי ממך. נוגי, איך הפסוק? נוגה ממועד אספתי ממך. אספתי ממך היו. מהי משמע? So, the explanation of this pasuk, דאי נוגי, if you took out מועד, it's time. So if you are away from מועד, it will be נוגי, it will be something broken. Meaning somebody is late to it, it will be broken. מהי משמע? From where do we know? דאי נוגי לישנא דתבראו, it's something that it's broken. הגמרא says, כדי מתרגם רב יוסף, אז רב יוסף translate this pasuk, תבראתי, a broken will come, על סנאון דבית ישראל, on the enemies of עם ישראל, which is referring on the nights of עם ישראל, על דאחר וזמיינה מועדיה דבירושלים, on postponing the time of the מועדים. מוסף usually said by מועד, you know, by שבת, זה עם ירושלים. אמר רב לזר, קודם מתפלל תפילה של שחרית לאחר 4 שעות, אינו מתפלל תפילה של שחרית after 4 hours in the day, לרבי יהודה. עליו הכתוב אומר, דקפסוק סדונן, the same פסוק, נוגי ממועד אספתי ממך היו. מהי משמע דאי נוגי לישנא דצרעו, he learning that נוגה means something that he will suffer. תכתיב, דלפה, מיתוגה, לא.
לא, זה לא זה.
דלפה מיתוגה נפשי ענו. Okay. I don't know which one is wrong. So he said that tuga, he said, דלפה נפשי, my soul was down. So it's also will suffer from it. רב נחמן בר יצחק אמר, we're learning נוגת את it, suffering מאחה. We said in איכה, אחד בתולותיה נוגות והיא מרלה. Her virgin girls were נוגות and she was bitter. עד כאן for today's new learning.